Hello and welcome on Mindset&Co. Today we will chat about mindset for success, drop the BS. And I am going to give you today my 4 tips, my 4-step formula that I am using to set up any intention and to use it for just achieving success. This is a step formula that I'm going to give in my Dream Builder Masterclass. And if you are listening before August 1st, 2023, make sure that you join because it's going to be amazing. We will go from stress, anxiety, having no clarity in life to setting up your intentions and manifest your dreams in 30 days. So there is a live masterclass on August 1st. You have an exclusive access to the workbook. The workbook after that masterclass will be a paid service. Okay, this is only free during the masterclass, and you will have access for 30 days to the WhatsApp group where I will coach you again for a whole month. You will get to be coached by me for a whole month, and the workbook is full of exercises that you will do during those months. So make sure that you're joining because it is going to be amazing. And today I am giving you a little glimpse of what this masterclass will be about by giving you my 4 steps formula and applying it to success more specifically. This is actually the second time I'm recording this because my neighbors' kids, the kids of my neighbors, started to make a lot of noise outside, and I can always hear them. I usually just can edit it pretty easily in the podcast, but this really distracted me, and then I just felt so out of balance in the episode. I could barely speak correctly. So I just needed to take a few breaths, and I've decided to do this again to have the quality that I want. So this is the success that I want in this podcast right now, to just be okay and calm and give you all of the best tip and be in the right energy for you. So I had to do this again, unfortunately, but I believe this will be a way better episode than what I recorded initially. So stay with me. Let's all take a deep breath together and just relax. Just chill and listen to this episode. Grab a notebook, grab your phone, maybe something to write on, because as I mentioned, I will be giving you my 4-step formula, and this requires a little bit of writing. So even if you are in the subway, please do not use your phone if you're driving. But if you are again in the subway, in the airplane, if you're just waiting for your friend in the bathroom while you are at a coffee shop, I don't know, wherever you're listening to this, just make sure that you have a pen or paper or your phone or your computer, something to write on. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. So we all have a different idea of what success means. And for some people, it means, financial success, having a certain job, a certain title, having a house. But for some other people, this can just mean waking up and feeling okay. It can mean doing your own groceries and making your own cookies. This is hard today. And making your own cooking. So success will mean different things for you. It will be different for me. It will be different for you. And what mainly stops us from having the success and the person that we want to be is mainly our mindset. Yes, there are the situations around that sometimes prevent us from achieving what we want. This is true. But most of it, and I would say 90% of it, is our mindset and how we think. You won't believe the number of people that I hear just making up excuses, like, oh, I don't have a choice, or no, I can't do this because blah, 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 blah. And just sometimes people are so scared. Yes, being scared of success is actually a real thing. Even though you have a dream, even though you have an intention, sometimes this means that you have to step up, you have to become the person that you want to be, but you will have to do things that are uncomfortable. And I'm going to give you an example. For me, in my business, I was actually scared to attract more people, more clients, because I thought it would mean having more work and not having time to do all the things that I like to do. So I was actually denying my success and not allowing more people to become my clients, even though they wanted to, because I was scared that it would mean I would just be drowned in work and do a burnout. So this is very unconscious, obviously, but it can translate into a lot of things. And procrastination, for example, is one of them. When you are procrastinating of doing something, is because you are scared. And what is blocking us sometimes can also mean trauma that we've had in, past experiences and certain beliefs that we have today or that we grew up with that are impacting our adult life and preventing us from being or having what we really want and what success means to us. So the step formula that I'm going to give you today will help you tremendously, but obviously it doesn't mean that, it will be a done deal when this is over. I always recommend working with, whoever you feel called to. So I'm going to say coaching because coaching can really be a big part. As a mindset coach myself, I, definitely work with people who have trauma, people who have limiting beliefs and success, but this can also be working with someone who does Reiki, working with someone who does breathwork, whatever modality, whatever thing that you feel called to just bring awareness to what is blocking you, I would always recommend to have the help, because sometimes we are so focused on our own lives that we just need that external point of view. And it cannot always mean family or friends, because sometimes family or friends, they won't tell you the truth. Also, they are not trained to maybe recognize those limiting beliefs and work with people who have trauma. So it's important to work with professionals. That can also mean a therapist, right? I forgot to mention, but therapists are a really good start. Therapist, counselor, wherever country that you live in, they're called different ways. But what will really help you is to define what success means to you. So while I was talking, there was probably a few things that started to pop up for you, and I would really recommend to start writing this down. Okay, whatever thought that you've had coming up, even though it was a negative one, and maybe it was saying, oh, but she's saying complete BS, write this down. Okay, I want you to keep an open mind and really start defining what success means to you. So I would start with who would you be? And don't start with what you want, material things. Start with who would you be and how do you want to feel? This is a very powerful exercise that I always like to give people who maybe just lack a bit of clarity and they don't really know exactly what they want or who they want to be. Then or what their intention are, or what success means to them. So I always just give them, this exercise of figuring out who do you want to be and how do you want to feel. Because this, usually we know how we want to feel, right? And we want to feel joy, we want to feel peace, we want to feel relaxed, calm. So however emotion you want to add here, just make sure that you write it down. And then who do you want to be? Just imagine yourself. Maybe close your eyes for just a minute and start imagining who you would be. So how would you dress? How would you stand up? How would you talk? How would you interact with other people? And then maybe where would you be? What is your environment? Who is surrounding you? Maybe what are you drinking? What are you eating? What are you experiencing? What is your day-to-day life? Really start to incarnate that person, almost as if you would see yourself from an external point of view, almost if you had an out-of-body experience and you could see yourself in your day-to-day life. And once you have that vision, then you can dive into what you want in terms of material things, in terms of finances, in terms of maybe relationship, health, work. And then you will have a full vision of what success means to you. This exercise might take some time. You might not do it in 10 minutes, but that's okay. And I really recommend to either write this down, what I just said, and then you can do it later, or just pause this podcast, this episode, and do it. This is my recommended path, because usually you're going to write it down and then just people don't do it. They just forget because it's uncomfortable, because you feel like you don't have time. So I always recommend to just maybe pause this episode and do things as I do the exercise as I tell them, as I say them. So the next step is to know where you are now. Acknowledge how far you've come. Maybe you are your version of success from a few years ago. Maybe today, a few years ago, you've dreamt of where you would be, and today you are where you thought you would be, but you just forgot, because our human brain just tend to go always forward, looking at the future. What is the next thing, and then we don't really acknowledge or recognize how far we've come. And this is also why I personally love writing everything down, because then when I read it back, I can remember certain things, certain intentions that I've forgotten, I've wrote down, and that I wanted to manifest. And then I realized that it actually really came true. And this is why I love to be very precise in what I say and defining my intentions, because then I can really tell if it's real. And I also really recommend doing this exercise. For example, I've tried to put my intention and said that I would manifest, I don't know, I'm just going to say a random number, but maybe $2,532 in my bank account. And then when I would come back to this intention, I realized that this is actually what I had managed to manifest almost by, the dollar. So it's really funny to come back to it and realize that, maybe this thing had happened and it was extremely precise and it happened. That cannot be any coincidence. So that is something aside, but coming back to, acknowledging where you are now, it's also important to realize that, because then you will understand how far you need to go compared to your version of success in the future. So maybe it will require, a big step, a lot of actions. Maybe it will be further in the future. If you think it's going to be further in the future, maybe it will seem like it's something achievable, soon. It could be closer. It could be a few weeks. So acknowledging where you are now can help you realize how far you have to go to your version of success. Knowing where you are now can also bring a lot of gratitude. And this is one of the steps as well. This is actually the last step, so I will get back to this. But please don't deny this exercise. Do not reject. Do not reject the exercise, this step, because, every step is important. But I really like this one because if you just think that you are in a bad place right now, there's always hope. Okay? Like I've mentioned, you were maybe your version of success from a few years ago. Maybe you've forgotten about it. But there's always some positive, even if it seems negative. Okay? There's always some positives. And we don't always stop to realize where we are. Sometimes we just keep going in life. And that's it. We just have that routine and we just don't really think of what is going on around. And bringing awareness to what is your life and not letting your life pass by, and not thinking that life has to be boring or just be a regular routine and you, for example, hate routine. Life can be amazing. And bringing that awareness right now on how do you feel about your life? Are you happy? Are you not happy? Are there things that you want to switch? Maybe you just like where you are right now, but you just want to tweak a few things. That's perfectly okay. But just bring awareness to what is your situation right now. So we've talked about defining your success. We've talked about bringing awareness on what is your situation now and how far do you need to go. Then when you know how far do you need to go, then it's time for some action. Yes, I'm sorry, you cannot just sit on your butt and spend the day sleeping. Some action is necessary, but this can be a lot of fun. So, according to what success means to you, I want you to just say a few things, write a list down of the things that you think you need to do to achieve that success. And then I want you to choose the top 3. And in the top 3 actions, I want you to put, sub-actions, small steps under each action items. Small steps that you can do to achieve whatever you want to achieve for your success. And I want you to be precise. Because if you just say, oh, I'm going to do this, whenever, guess what? You'll never do it. Because your brain would just think, oh, well, I don't have a specific day. Like, that just seems so messy. And it's also my comfort zone, so I'm never going to do it. If you say, oh, I'm going to do this by August 20th, let's say, and I'm going to bring, I don't know, let's say you have a business. I'm going to bring 4 new clients by August 20th. Okay, does that seem more attainable? Does that seem like something you actually get ready to do and to plan? Rather than saying, I'm going to bring some clients maybe by the end of December. Right? Who wants to do that? That doesn't motivate you. That doesn't motivate anyone. So be as precise as you can with your action items. I promise you this will help you tremendously. Now, the last step is letting go. When I mean letting go, I don't mean forget. Because how can you forget with that success now that you've put this incredible version of what it could be? How could you forget about that? Of course you can't, and I'm not asking you to. What I'm asking you is to be okay with how your life is right now. So whether that version of success is happening or not, because we don't know in the end, we don't have control on life. Whatever can happen in this life. You could be redirected into something else. So because we don't have control of our life, I want you to feel and know that it's okay to be in whatever your life is right now. And how do we do that? We bring gratitude. Be grateful for the little things. If you have food in your plate, you're already very lucky. If you have a roof over your head, you're also lucky. If you have, a partner that is healthy and that you love. If you have children or a family that are still alive and healthy. If you have a couch or a bed to sit on or lay on. Okay, all of these things, we all have things to be grateful for. So I want you to focus on these every day. Focus on, let's say, maybe 3 things that you can be grateful for. And know that you are okay right now, that you are safe. And bring that gratitude. This can be a more difficult exercise than what you think it is. Because the first few days, usually, if it's not something you're used to, it's really hard to feel grateful. Because we were never taught to be grateful. or at least I wasn't, I know. So it can be really complicated to do at the beginning and to feel the emotions of gratitude. So the first few days might just feel like you're saying it, but not feeling it. But the more you do it, the better you will get at it, and the better at feeling emotions you will get. So be in gratitude for the life that you have today, because tomorrow is never promised. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I think every day should be celebrated and lived to the fullest. So you are not yet into your success version. And truth is, I cannot promise you that this will happen, because I don't know. I don't have control on anything, even my own life. We think we have control on the little things, but we only have control on the actions that we take and what we say. And that's it. The rest is just pure magic. So be okay with the life that you have today. Maybe see that there are a few successes in your life that you can celebrate. And obviously, don't forget about what success means to you and who do you want to be. But how can you bring that success in your life today? And it's by taking those action steps. And it doesn't have to be big action steps. Okay, that is why I've asked you to divide it into smaller action items, because sometimes, it's just by putting baby steps into what you're going to do. And this might take time, but it will feel beautiful, because this is about life, okay? Life is not always about the destination. I'm gonna sound really cheesy again, but life is not always about the destination. Sometimes we reach something, a certain intentional goal that we wanted to achieve for so many years or for such a long time, and then we get there and we just move on to the next thing without even celebrating their big thing. And it's very often like that. But then, did we enjoy, the little steps that we've taken to get there? Did we enjoy the ride? Because in the end, this is basically about life, right? When you're retired and you get old, this is kind of the end goal. Do we necessarily want to be in the end goal? Or at the end goal, where you look back on your life and think of all the things that led you to where you are today, to the life that you've built for yourself? So make sure that you enjoy the present moment. Make sure that you enjoy every step. And when you reach that version of success, it will only be more beautiful, because you will actually acknowledge how far you've come, and you've enjoyed the small steps or the big steps that you've taken to be there. You've enjoyed every moment of life to get there. And then when you get to that version of success, it will be absolutely beautiful. It will be the cherry on the cake, but it's not the whole cake. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope you know what I'm saying, and I'm not just rambling and you're just like, I don't understand. Basically, it's not the whole cake, okay? The last version of success that you're thinking of is not the whole cake. It's just a cherry on the top. And the cake is all the action, is all the present moment. The seconds that you are listening right now, this episode, this is part of the cake. Now, do you want a good cake? Because who wants a bad cake? All right, so I'm going to stop here. But I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I really just enjoyed talking about this. This is my work. And as I always mention, obviously I can always help you better, and just diving deeper when I see you one-on-one. When I see you either in my programs, either in sessions, this is when I can really help you to the deepest. But this is the first step. This whole podcast is the first step. And then whenever you're ready to dive deeper, I will be here to help you through that. I am also a Breathwork practitioner, so I use a lot of breathwork tools to not just work the mindset, but also the body, the internal. So this is it, my loves, for today. If you've liked the podcast, please rate it. If you have ideas of, other episodes, other subjects that you would like me to talk about, then you can send me a message on probably Instagram is the easiest. I have several social media, but Instagram is just the easiest. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram. And I guess that is it. Again, I really recommend joining the masterclass. It's a completely free resource. So please take advantage of that because it's going to be amazing. So make sure that you join. I will put the link in the description. And on this good note, I wish you a good rest of your day or have a good night. All right. Bye.